Hi everyone, welcome back to the next Ornithopter build video. Like I mentioned before, I'm going to go over how to put the main parts together. So it actually makes sense when you actually get to all the sections. The build document does have information, but this might make it easier if you actually see what I'm doing physically. Okay, so you're going to have all your main sections. You have your tail ready assembled, your top, okay, and then your two sides. I already got the mounts in, and then your base for your cockpit. So before I actually do the put together, I was going to show you guys the best way to put in your wings, because if you do it one way, it might just fall over the model. So let me just grab two wings over here on the table. Okay, so the best way to do it is, if you're going to do your wings back, is just bend it to the right angle and then put them in on each side at the same time. So don't do one side then the other side, the model is going to fall over. Okay, so then shut them in. Okay, you do this once the model is actually put together, once it's assembled. Then your wings will stand in their position. Okay. Alright, so that's out of the way. So what you're going to start with is your cockpit or front lower section. I suppose your cockpit support. Okay, then your side parts slip into the gap at the bottom, and then the two lugs fit into the rear of the chair. Okay, you can put them both in. Okay, at this stage you can actually put your top on if you want, or you can just secure them with your lower floating floor. And then, like I mentioned before, there are two different ones. The angled one is for closed position, this one is for the open. Okay, so let's go with the which one will make it easier? I'll go with the open position. Okay, so wrong one. Okay, this is your floating floor. Okay, so once you got this in, okay, they're a bit finicky. Okay, you can slide your floating floor in, push it into place. Okay, and then you can get your screw and actually screw it into position. But before you do that, like I mentioned just now, your floating floor and your holder for your ramp, slide it into place, and then take your two screws, the short black ones. They're 1.5 centimeters, and these you'll notice are actually the Allen key type. Okay, it's not a normal Phillips head. Okay, so then put those in, screw them into place. Now this will secure the sides and the floating floor and your ramp holder. As you can see, I've already installed the leg holders on each side. Okay, so now this is pretty stable. Okay. Okay, at this stage you can actually glue your, I haven't done it now, but you can glue your folded seats into position, and then you can install your open seats onto the front, and that will actually hold the floating floor in place as well. If you glue this in, like I mentioned, you won't be able to take the model apart. Okay, so you got your lugs. Okay, little cup that goes into the holes, it slides in, and then what holds this together is your tail. So then your tail slides on. Okay, then you've got the two long screws, the silver ones. I think they're 2 centimeter screws. Okay, you get it in, screw it into place. Okay, I think I have mentioned before is, once you've got your tail on, you haven't glued it on, don't lift your body from the front too much with weight on the back, because it might break off. So I mean, this can actually support the weight of the kit if you're holding it. Okay, if the weight goes this way, it's going to snap off. Okay, so number 2. My number 2 wasn't lined up very well, so I need to just MacGyver it slightly so that it actually goes right through the main part. Okay, there it goes. Nice thing with this screw, it's actually got a little screwdriver that's got a little turny top, so I can secure it against the inside of my palm. Okay, now this part just covers it, but I put that on after I've actually completed the whole put together part of the build. Okay, and like I mentioned with all my models, you can glue it together if you want to, and then close up all the gaps, but you'll have to do that before you paint. That'll make the canopy fit easier. Okay, so flip it over. You've got your module. Okay, I'm not going to put the legs on now, or the ramp hook as I call it, but that just clips into the gap at the back. Okay, and then your feet go into the little holes with the mount. Okay, your rear legs. Okay, but as for your open position, that goes into position, you have your two small black screws, 1.5 centimeter screws, should I say, and that goes in. I did mention as well in the build document that you're going to have to just open this little gap slightly, and this gap with the Dremel, because the head of the screw needs to go all the way in and set in its recess. 1, 2. The wrong one. That'd be a black screw. Okay, so this rear section doesn't take a silver screw. Take the black screw. Then your feet simply slip on the little hole, but before I do them, your spotlight, okay, goes on, and then you screw it in from the other end. I'm not going to put it on now. Okay, so then it can rotate. Okay, and then grab it on the back end, flip it over, and hold it behind the body. Okay, and now you can put it onto your stand, either standing or flying, and then add your wings on. And obviously your cockpit just simply slips in. You can see mine's already broken, the little joystick's broken off, so just take care of them. I need to glue them back on. Okay, and then your canopy just goes underneath, clips on. Okay. There will be a gap over here, and that's unfortunately just the way the model turned out. On the 3D file there is not really a gap. If you want more realism, you can glue this on and fill the gap up. Okay, so in the next video I'm going to show you guys the stand, and then I'm actually going to put the model on the stand and show you the two different configurations of how it looks. But I won't be putting the wings on, it just takes up too much space. Wings open is 1.4 meters. And wings facing backwards is 90 centimeters, so it's 3 foot. So it's a 1 in 32 scale, but it's not a small model. It's quite large. Okay, from here you can. Okay, so what I'm saying here is don't turn it upside down and hold the tail, because the weight's just going to snap your screws off. From here you can see the inside. You can see. Okay, so you can get a lot of trouble doing the inside if you want to. You don't see too much unless it's from the front. So it's again your choice on what you want to do, your end goal. Okay, so I'm going to put the rest together, and then I'll come back in the next video. I'll show you guys the stand and how the stand parts work. Okay, thanks, cheers.